Ready? Hey, welcome to Dirt Live. We're coming to you live from San Diego, California, here at the studios. Tonight we got a great show. We got some great guests. We got Armin Schwartz, kind of showed up. We didn't know he was here today. He showed up today hanging out at the beach. We got a great interview with Armin Schwartz tonight. We also have Perry and Mark McNeil. These guys have been racing a long time in Mexico, some 40 years in score. We're going to talk to those guys tonight. Also, the gentleman that owns Stand 21, Yves Morzat, is going to be on the show tonight. We're going to talk a little bit more about safety. The industry lost a great man, John, Dr. John, the guy that's been working on the Hans device. Wow, we lost this guy July 18th. Well, we got that going on. Don't forget, we still got the sign-ups going on for the race at the Imperial Valley, the Rigid Industries race coming in September. Get all signed up for that race. It's going to be a great two-day event out there in Imperial Valley. So we got great stuff also. We have video of the week. We're going to showcase a little bit of history. We're going to go back a little bit in some racing down in score right here. Let's watch video of the week.
This short video is to introduce you to the world of desert racing, or off-road racing. Speed runs into Baja began in 1965. The first official race followed 2 years later in 1967. And the world found out about this craziness in 1968 when ABC Wide World of Sports broadcast the event.
This is Jim McKay reporting from Ensenada, Mexico, some 60 miles south of the U.S. border, the starting point for one of the world's strangest motor races.
The rest is history. When you combine the pioneer spirit, 328 entries, 704 drivers, and crowds reaching 250,000, you have the most exciting racing anyplace on the planet. Off-road racing. Come ride with the greatest desert racers of all time. Visit their shops, experience the endless hours of testing, and watch them do what they do best, race. In this show, we will show the construction of million-dollar 800-horsepower trucks that are capable of speeds nearing 150 miles per hour. We'll find out why generation after generation love to race in the desert. The Halls, Herbsts, McMillans, Wilsons, and the Stewarts. They, along with hundreds of others, have made this a family sport. Jerry Herbst got his family hooked on off-road racing in the 1970 Baja 500. Today, Terrible Herbst Motorsports is the winningest team in the history of trophy truck class. Brothers Ed and Tim have also won 4 season-long points championships in their Mega Buck Ford. Number 3 son Troy, not to be outdone, has won the Baja 500 6 times and the 1,000 5 times, including the epic 2,000-mile Baja nonstop event from Ensenada to Cabo San Lucas. Also in 2000, the Herbst won the 6-day Nevada 2000. This is a 6-day race around the entire state of Nevada. 2 2,000-mile races that will never happen again. Ivan the Iron Man Stewart earned that iconic title as he drove every race alone. And alone in the middle of Baja is really alone. The PPI Stewart combo dominated stadium and desert racing for years. They teamed for 8 short course stadium championships, won Driver of the Year awards, the Manufacturers Championships, 17 Baja 500 titles, 3 Baja 1000 titles, and ranks 3rd all-time in wins in events sanctioned by Score International. This television series is devoted to the best of the best. The highs of beating the odds, the lows of charging for 24 hours only to lose by seconds. Welcome to Titans of Off-Road Racing.
The Titans, those guys had a great show going. We do have a lot of that footage we're going to try to show a little more of the rest of the year. Well, we're going to go to commercial, and we'll come back with our first interview. Stick around. Hey, welcome back to Dirt Live. We're here with Armin Schwartz. Armin, welcome to the show, man.
Hello, George.
So in California, kind of liking the beach weather, hanging out at the beach?
Yeah, we are making use out of the school holiday of our kids, you know, hanging out here, having some holiday with the family.
They love it down at the beach, huh?
Yeah, we love it. The beach is nice, you know, the weather generally is nice.
Is it pretty cold, or are they used to the snow and stuff over there where you're from?
Yeah, we are living actually in a ski area, but in summertime we have no snow, but we know everything, you know. We know the snow, we know also the hot, but the weather is much more unstable than in California, of course.
Well, this year, let's talk a little bit about your race truck, you know, your trophy truck. Beautiful truck, different than any other trophy truck. Definitely you can't miss that color.
No, the color you cannot miss, that's for sure. You will recognize that one. We would like, you know, that you recognize us by speed.
Right.
So that is where we are, we are lacking a little bit because we had not so much luck so far. I mean, not even, not last year and also not this year. We had last year a lot of problems with the, with the torque converter, and our partners helped us to sort that out. And then we got the truck almost like stronger from the back end into transmission towards the engine. And now we struggle to have a reliable engine this year. We had overheating problems, and we have time chain issues, and we are trying to sort that out. And I hope really for the September race we have grabbed the problem and we could sort it out, and we're gonna have a total new motor, a brand new motor, a different motor in September, and I hope that works, and we are done with any problems.
Now you raced there in April, you know, for the Imperial race. A little different than what you're used to. So you're going to be going back there in September, a little hotter. You should be ready for that.
Yeah, I like the area because we go testing out there to Blaster City whenever we do something. The only thing and I think I spoke to Roger and he knows that, you know, these waypoints, you know, right out in the middle of the dry lake bed, and to hit them, that was a little bit difficult. I think it was for everybody a bit new. I think the race course will be quite different than what we have seen in April, but the area itself and the race itself is good. The stadium is very good with the big jumps, good for spectators. I think it's a really good race.
You know, it brings back old memories with Laughlin back in the days. I know you and Martin really loved that 2-day event on the river. So it kind of brings you back. Shorter course, more jumps, and are the jumps harder for you guys with the trophy trucks? Or, you know, now that it'll be shorter, you kind of maybe set it up for the jumps then?
No, we will not set it up really for jumps, and I think if you're too long in the air, you don't have any traction. Yeah. So you try to get as fast as possible down, so you will not jump that big anyway, except, you know, they have like a competition out there. But I think where we are looking forward is to bring out some guests, bring out some sponsors, bring out some media, because if it is like a 2-day event and you are out there and you have the possibility really to set up everything and make use out of it, and the cars come by like 4 or 5 times or 4 or 5 laps, it's really good for spectators, it's really good for sponsors, and it makes it totally different than if you have a Baja 1000 where you go by and then nobody see you anymore.
You know, the TV coverage now with CBS, a lot of coverage with you guys. Great coverage, San Felipe, when you and Tava were battling there, and Tava almost kind of went over trying to get by you, you know?
Yeah, I mean, at that point, Martin was in the truck, but yeah, when he saw it later, he said, wow, you know, there was a close call for him going that far out and not seeing anything because he was right in the dust of Martin. Yeah, this is off-road racing. This is the footage what spectators want to see, and that is what we are looking forward, you know, to have really close battles with other racers.
So, you know, got the transmission working, you know, that kind of stuff, the engine. Once you get all that together, I think guys are going to have to look out for this truck. This thing is going to come alive and be on the podium.
Well, we are competitive and we have good races when the truck is running. I mean, if the motor works and everything works, we will definitely not beat everything out of the truck on the next race. We want to get a finish. We want to finish also on the Baja 1000, because I think only if you can get to the finish without any problem, you will have a real chance for a good result.
Yeah. So now, getting ready for the 1,000 after this race in Imperial Valley, you guys got a lot of work. Brian and those guys really got to work pretty hard. What do you think? We talked a little off camera about qualifying. I know it's going to be kind of tough for the teams, but what do you think? I think good for the sponsors that you have, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think it opens up doors to new media, to new sponsors, to a new crowd out there, to show them at an event in Vegas, what we are doing and what the qualifying is, and get more attention. The problem this year for us will be logistic-wise, will be a big problem for us, because we are not having enough resources, not enough people really to split the team like in two and send somebody up there and set up the qualifying and then flying up there to qualify, because this is right in the middle of our pre-running. Here we really need to see how we're going to do that. On the media side, no doubt, I'm fully behind the idea to do that, because I think it's the best idea what we can have. I mean, to show it to everybody what we do and get more people to off-road racing.
Pretty cool. I hope everybody gets a chance to see how you drive. I mean, whoever tests, I mean, does the qualifying, of course, has to start, but I know watching you at the start of the 500, the 1,000 last year, I'm so impressed by your driving skills. I've told you that before, where you have that ability to drive in that first turn like no one else can do.
Well, this is rally driving here. You know, you set up the car always before the corner, and then I put the car that angle like I want to get out of the corner. So this is a driving style, and yeah, I do it on the first corner, I do it on the last corner, so I try to do always the same. It's
pretty cool. I mean, you see you coming into that first turn, and you're actually turning it to the right to go left. It's incredible what you do.
You can come up to my ice driving school, you know, and we learn you. I show you how to do it.
It's pretty cool. Well, let's talk a little bit about that. You know, your rally experience, world champion and all that, and over there you got some things going on in some races, big races coming up.
Yeah, we have in 2 weeks, we have a World Rally Championship event in Germany, and this is high-class rally. They will have probably like 200,000 spectators on 4 days, and I have on 1 day on a special area, like a 1-hour window where I can do some show drive with the truck. So we are flying the truck over there. Brian is flying over there. We have the truck for 1 week, and then we bring it back because we have not a bigger time window. So all German motorsport really is full in gear right now, and I think there will be long, long days and even longer nights to put the truck together, to fly to Germany, get it back and get it ready for the September race. But this is something what we have to do because we work with a lot of European sponsors. I'm having really good media return when we have good races. This year it was not that good, so we are bringing the truck to Germany and show everybody what it is. And then we cross fingers that September everything is ready.
Be good, you know. So great time over there, and good time of the year, good weather. I think that's the best time of the year over there.
I think, yeah, July, August, September, but Europe, you never know. It's not California, for the weather at least.
Yeah. Now, rumors flying around for a while, you were going to start your race again over there. You know, the race you put on a few years ago and kind of tied in with Score. Maybe have to put that off a little bit.
Yeah, I put it off because it takes so much time. You run around so much with sponsors and creating things and get permissions, and we don't have this open desert what you have over here, so you need to find like a day mining area. Then you need to be lucky with the weather, and then also to get races over to Germany and equipment over there. It is not just packing up and driving down to Cabo, what everybody would do probably, but you have to ship it. You have to put it in a container, and yeah, you have an 11-hour flight. So it makes it difficult, and without Score racers and off-road racers from the US, the event is not the same. Then you are talking about a small Dakar, what everybody more or less know, but a Class 1 or even a Class 10 and the trophy truck, you know, if you fire that up and you show what this car is able to do, everybody is blasted away.
Yeah. Pretty neat.
That's what it needs, yeah.
I'll be able to see your truck when you're over there coming up in a couple of weeks. That'll be pretty cool. Give them a little kind of an idea of what could come over.
Exactly.
Well, let's talk, since we talked about Dakar, you are the ASO representative for the off-road guys. You kind of work back and forth, you and Roger, and trying to bring the Dakar to, you know, somewhat to Score, and then get a lot of the Score guys down there. We're getting more and more guys in Dakar.
Yeah, that's actually the intention, to attract more and more people to go to Dakar. But not only that, I'm also looking into avenues where we don't need to downsize so much our cars over here to make use out of them in Dakar and make Dakar more aware, you know, that you have to give a better window, that, you know, the competitiveness of our cars doesn't go away when you put them up at Dakar under FIA regulation. And that's something what we are addressing. So even Class 10 is allowed now. You can have a Score tech inspection, and, you know, is allowed. You can run a trophy truck. You can run a Class 1. Robbie is basically running a Class 1. I mean, not in respect to the US racing, but everybody in Europe see that more like a Class 1 buggy. And you can see Peugeot is coming in now to Dakar, and they are building a buggy. They have studied. And I think they're really convinced that a buggy, according to a Class 1, is the car what can win Dakar. And I think that gives a new wind into, let's say, our community, where they can see, hey, with a very well-prepped Class 1 car, we can really be competitive in Dakar.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. Like you said, we talked a little bit earlier off camera about the guys bringing the truck over, trying to make an attempt at the 500. Great attempt. They drove that thing all the way across the country. And of course, one of the guys getting sick, but a great family. It's been around in Dakar forever, so pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, they have a big history. Even the senior, Deroy, he won Dakar a couple of times when he was in Africa. They have a big lorry company in Holland, and the young guy, Deroy, he won it like 2 years ago, and he's definitely one who always has a chance to win it. And to come here and see what the Baja 500 is and the terrain is, it was pretty good, because he will not forget this, for sure not.
He won't forget the whoops. He always kept saying the whoops. Oh, very tough, the whoops. But a couple guys really proud of what you're doing, you and Roger, giving these guys, you know, Tony Guerra and right now Mike Johnson, a chance to go to Dakar next year. So these guys are pumped and looking forward to hopefully winning the Dakar championship and going. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I would really cross fingers for that, because that will actually give a message also, you know, you have a chance, you go over there. And also the program with the Dakar Challenge on a Score event, it's coming along very well, and you know, it's very fruitful, because my prospect or my view of it is always that you only, when you get something created together, you make more use out of your own sport. And especially as Dakar is one of the biggest off-road, or is more as a off-road rally, together with the Score and the Baja 1000, these are the two biggest off-road events what you can name in the world. And if they get together, that is really a big and a good sign.
Huge.
Yeah.
Well, we want to thank you, Armin, once again joining us, hanging out here in San Diego. We hope you enjoy the rest of your week with your kids, I know, down at the beach, and get over there to Germany and put on the rally and have a great time. And then we'll see you back here at Imperial in September. Thank you very much.
We will. Thank you,
Armin
Coach.
Schwartz right here joining us on Dirt Live. We'll go to commercial and be right back.
Hi, I'm Martin Christensen with All German Motorsports. Been racing Score off-road for a number of years, and I've been using the HANDS device for a very long time. I absolutely believe in it because I know it saves lives. Not only am I a racer and want to win races, that's obvious, but come Monday morning, I'm a businessman and a father for my family. I want to be there on Monday morning. For me, this is the best solution. It's super simple to put on. It goes right on. Very fast as well to connect to the helmet. Has a super nice slide mount that just clicks right in. You don't even know that it's there when it's fitted properly. Another reason why it's very comfortable is once you're seated in the car, the sliding tethers in the back allows you full movement on your head with no restrictions. Another thing that I like is that it's super easy to get in and out of the car. Just cut the belts like normal, get out, and boom, you're out of the car. Just like that, voila, an absolute lifesaver. A great example is Prim Score 300. I was standing right in the grandstands, and a fellow racer in class 1 at the time came right over, a little infield jump, looped the car. I was only 15, 20 feet away, ran to the car, and the driver was dead. If there's any way anybody out there can prevent anything like that from happening by wearing a simple device like this, I'd say it must be done. Neither Brian or myself are paid or sponsored by Stand 21. We're just racers who believe in safety.
Hey, welcome back to Dirt Live. We're here with Yves Morzat. Yves, welcome to the show, buddy.
Bonjour.
As always.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. So
Comment-
everybody out there, this gentleman from Europe, and the biggest company in the U.S., in Europe, all over the world, Stand 21, such a great company, and have had the pleasure of being at your company, visiting and hanging out with you. Long Beach Grand Prix was incredible hanging out with you.
Yeah, thank you, merci, thank you.
You know that?
You know, because we are in racing for 44 years. We based on really, I'm very involved in the safety. I decided to do this business because safety. I saw a crash, a guy who was had a big crash, and I said we have to do for people like that, But in 1970, it was no racing. Today, in 2014, it's a lot of racing around the world. Just in America, I think you are more to 500,000 people who race.
Wow.
And we have to take care of these people, because these people, they don't want to be world champion. They want to win race, or they want to play with their toy. And they want to play with their toy, coming back to home, to have a good time with the family, with the friends, and enjoy for the next race. And go back to work Monday morning to make more money, to buy new tire, new seats, or new engine.
Well, you didn't tell everybody, you really started out as a baker.
Yeah, I was a baker. Yeah, I was a baker.
And you saw a terrible accident, and you ran out there, and at that point, you had this, I got to do something to help save these guys.
Exactly. And the guy, 3 weeks ago, I was in France, the guy came to see me, and he lost his hand, lost his ear. He was French champion Formula 3, ready to go in Formula 1, and he lost his career. But look at, he turned 70 some months ago. He's in good shape, and he's happy to live.
You know, and it's incredible what you've done now with the foundation. And, you know, like we were at the Long Beach Grand Prix, people watching, tuning in, if you didn't have a chance, you need to attend one of these events. It's so great at the Long Beach Grand Prix. Next year, come and he has all the best doctors in the world, the IndyCar doctor, and one of them who we're going to talk about tonight, John Melvin, and he was the most impressed I was impressed by at this. I mean, he's the guy that helped develop the Hans device.
The Hans, the seats, all the inside of the IndyCar, Formula One. He was both sides, you know. He was Formula One, IndyCar. He was in the same times NASCAR. He helped also after Eric Mitten died 5 years ago in Dragster.
Yeah.
He was there to study with John Force. Why, how, when, and he helped a lot. And it's, I think, for the racing community, we lost the 18th of July, a big, very important person, and really a close friend, because every time when I was asking, hey, can you help me for SCORE? Can you help me for ICTA, Bonneville? Can you help me with IndyCar? We want to make a safety lecture. And every time he was really happy to come. But every time, I don't ask him, oh, you have to tolerate that or do that. He did what he wanted, because he was a big professor, you know. He was somebody so important that I was proud to have a French guy who come from the other side of the Atlantic. I'm proud that people like Terry Trummel, John Melvin, are happy to be with me.
Oh, it was impressive. I mean, people that you got to show up, and we're going to try to do some more of these, maybe in Vegas and other places, because I think once you walk out of these safety meetings, guys that race, whether it's off-road, dragsters, or anything, you know, you're going to know that you need to wear these safety and have the safety devices.
Yeah, and it's sometimes very simple things like nets or like form can change, or the shape of the roll bar. And you know, we are working with some team in drag, top level of drags. I think more to 50% of the top level drag there we have staff. We have people in Dakar. We have people in also SCORE racing. You know, we do a lot of things like the helmet with the intaker on the top, with the air coming. You know, we have a lot of technology. My company is based on technology. We are not based on volume, based on technology. Yeah, but you know, I'm not here to talk on stand 21. I'm here to talk because we lost a friend. We lost John, you know. And you, thanks God, you came to in April. I asked you, said, hey, can you come, George, with us, please? And you tell, yes, I come. And I said, you came? Yeah. And we have a dinner together with John, Terry, you remember, in Long Beach. Yeah. And the day after, he makes the lecture. And you know, all that, we do that with my foundation for free, just education. Because more we will educate people, more racing will be. And safer will be race. We cannot accept today the same fatalities like 10 or 20 years ago, or 40 years ago. 40 years ago, go on my website, you can see Jack Hicks was tolling Jack Hicks for a Formula One driver. He won, I think, 2 or 3 Paris-Dakar, you know. And he was a great guy. He said, I was racing in Formula One, but at the beginning of the year, we were 24, but at the end of the year, we didn't know how many will be. Dan Gurney also, same thing. Dan is a good friend here in America, same thing. And at the beginning, he sent me last year, you know, he bring me last year for my birthday, a big picture of Formula One driver, Jimmy Clark, Bruce McLaren, Graham Hill, you know, a lot of people. It was like a band, you know, band playing. I'm sure the music was very bad. But he showed me the picture, said, this one died by accident in Hockenheim, this one died by accident in Rama, this one died, you know. It's just a long list of people. And the racing is so beautiful. And racing is dangerous. We're still dangerous. But in the same time, we have to take care, drivers to take care of them. And it's easy, and it's cheap. You have to understand what is safety.
You know, I know him and I had a long talk, I think at dinner, you and I, and it always comes up about Dale Earnhardt, you know, and I know after Dale Earnhardt died.
Because it was a wake-up for American driver.
And John immediately was involved
completely.
And studied all this.
Completely.
And if you attend one of these seminars and you'll walk away, if you're a racer and you don't wear one, you'll be wearing one. Because if you see how much your neck moves in an actual crash or whatever, and the studies that John did, I mean, a lot of people have watched the Dale Earnhardt crash, and I say it myself, it didn't look that bad, but it's the way that your neck moves. You don't realize that your neck is not connected.
You remember in a Long Beach seminar, we show a volunteer, a military volunteer, make a test at 15 miles per hour, which is nothing. Have you seen the spine? How it's I think it's close to the maximum. 15 miles.
Yeah.
Who race at 15 miles per hour? Nobody. Otherwise, you will not racing.
Exactly.
But it shows that you are lucky, it works well, or it doesn't good. But people have to understand when you are fixing your car, if you have a good seat, you need a good seat with. The problem on a race car also is the seats with a ear on the side has to be very good. And you have in America very good in aluminum, in carbon, and you have to be protected here because the arms or all the end on neck support, doesn't matter which one, work just in this direction. Here doesn't work. That's how Simonsen died last year in Le Mans. I know in off-road you have one people die. You know, we have every weekend report from racing. You will see in the movies that I give you that a guy it was in Macau. He was sliding like that with a Honda, hitting the wall, died. Yeah. Just because of basic skull fracture.
Yeah, I mean it's not saying that it's going to completely keep, but definitely will help.
Yeah.
Maybe worse injuries that you could get.
Yeah, but to coming back on John, we have to. It's a big loss for us, and I tell you, big loss for all of you. You never seen ask Martin Christensen, ask some of the driver came, and he was a hero. Every year NASCAR was asking John to make a lecture front the 47 NASCAR driver, and everybody has to be there. And he was working also on Ayrton Senna, Formula One driver, who died in '94. He was working on a lot. Eric Medlin in Dragster, and you remember he has so big know-how. He has so. We have some movies, we have also the record of what he did with us because he was really at the base of my foundation. I think we were 4 years together, and he were very clear, very, very professional, just thinking safety.
I know after Long Beach, I know you and I met up a couple times. I wanted to bring him on the show, and I was so impressed with what I saw that I thought we need to show this on Dirt Live, and we're going to do this because we captured a lot of what he talked about at Long Beach, and we're going to play that in the next couple of weeks here on Dirt Live. Definitely. We're going to pay a little tribute to a gentleman, like I said, walking with you and him when you and I went through the paddock. I've never seen anything like it in my life where everyone that's racer, from Mario Andretti and Michael Andretti and all the people that race know you. I mean, we couldn't go 5 feet without stopping, and you and John would, hey.
I love racing. I love racing.
Yeah.
What do you think I do in a weekend? I go to racetrack. I go to see you in 250. I was there. I will be there on 1,000. And do you imagine? I was in Le Mans Classic 3 weeks ago, 24 Le Mans 1 month ago, and I have people who are working for me. But in the same time, I like to go there. This weekend, I go to Bonneville on the flats. And the weekend after, I will be in Laguna Seca, on the historic, And, at the end of the month, I will be in Indianapolis. I will not sail. I sell nothing, I just promote safety, promote education, and also share with the old driver and with the young driver what I learned in my life.
Yeah, because I know you and I talked about the movie that came out, I think, earlier in the year.
Yeah.
Pretty much touched you, right? I mean,
sure.
That was called the
Niki Lauda. Niki Lauda.
Because you knew those guys back then.
I was there. I was in the middle, and we in the middle between Hunt and Niki Lauda, and it was a great year. I was not in Nürburgring when the crash happened, but I was in Monaco Grand Prix, French Grand Prix, and I knew. And a year later, Niki was wearing my stuff.
Wow.
No, c'est la vie. I'm happy. I have a long life. I have a lot of friends like you, like Roger, like Sal Fish, all these You know, it's a great gentleman who love racing like me. Because you love racing, you're like me.
Yeah.
We have the same DNA problem, you know.
You know, I know he talks a lot about, costs a lot of money to like do helmets and make them safe, and the money that you spend, people don't realize there's a lot of money spent to take a new helmet and make it so that it's right for the guys. And you're the kind of guys, hey, you know what? I live comfortable. I don't need to make millions. I want to make it safe. I love your concept of what you guys do at Stand 21. And if you get a chance, you know, people that are in California, go by and check out the new office in Newport Beach right there. It's incredible.
Costa Mesa, yeah. You will see what we developed with Martin and Armin Schwartz. The helmet with hair come on the top, and we have the hair go directly on the shield. You have no fog, you know. And after we have a double shield, because when you receive a stone on the face, you know, give me an idea. I'm ready to develop. You know, we are working with. You know what we are working now?
I was going to talk about the gloves. I was going to bring the gloves up.
Yeah.
I was there with you. How's that going?
We are in time to patent the...
Can we talk about it?
Yeah, a little, yeah.
It's pretty cool. Just to let you know what this gentleman, they do. The guys that race the Indy cars or whatever, if you know that a lot of the instruments, they have to touch with their fingers, you know? Mm-hmm. Well, when you're wearing gloves, with a lot of the new stuff, you can't work electrical instruments. So these guys at Stand 21 come up with the idea. They put an electrical device inside the gloves so the guys can do what they're doing. And that's cool.
One touch, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's just one of the great ideas you guys have come up with.
Exactly, you know, you have seen also our lead lifter, our balaclava, you know, you can pull out the helmets without any effort on the vertebral column. Yeah. And you look at, we invent that.
And we play that every week, three times a week on Dirt Live. We appreciate you sponsoring Dirt Live also.
Yeah, you know, I sponsor because I love I love your world, I love your people, you know, and you are really also what I like. You like the Mexican community, you respect the people over there, and you're really, for me, a really sport part. You bring, I'm very happy with Roger, Sal, you know, they are really people who love racing.
Well, we love having you on board. We love Mexico. We love Mexico.
Sure.
Can't wait to go back, you know.
Me too. I will be there in November.
I wish we had a race every month. But all right, well, we want to thank you very much, Yves.
Merci beaucoup.
Hey,
thank you.
All the way from across the seas.
Please, remember John Melvin. Please go on our website, Racing Goes Safer, and watch the movies we are on the website. Thank you.
We're going to show it right here. But we're going to go to commercial. We'll be right back here on Dirt Live.
You've never experienced off-road racing like this. Join the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series as they take you up close and personal with some of the hottest names in the racing business. Feel like you're part of the action with a front row seat and join the hard-hitting action of off-road racing. Lucas Oil Off-Road on MAV TV.
Hey, welcome back to Dirt Live. We're here with Perry McNeil and his son, Mark. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
I know we met you back during one of the drawings and stuff. You hanging out with us.
Uh-huh.
So you got a lot of history in racing. I've seen you up on the podium a bunch. You've won a lot of championships.
Yeah, I tend to race more in Mexico for whatever reason. Some of my sponsorships have been Pepsi from Mexico and Corona and Tecate stuff. So consequently, they want to see me race more down there and up here. So I do a lot of racing down there and have been for umpteen many years, 38 years of racing. I've missed one Baja 1000 in 38 years, you know, that because of a real bad accident we had back in 2000. But I've never missed a Baja 500, 1,000, or 250 of the score races for 38 years, you know, so.
Wow. So let's go back 38 years. So back in the early days, what were you racing? What kind of car?
I raced Class 1 probably for about 15 years.
Wow.
Did real well. It was just one of those deals where you just around the corner. I've got, you know, like the Baja 1000, for example, I've got 8 first places, but I have 12 second places. You know,
Yeah.
that's I feel worse about, you know, feel bad. It's like what's the saying? Second place is the first loser, something
yeah.
like that. You know, and I've been there so many times just looking at the Mickey Thompson, at the winners over there on the table over there, and there was one year that I had a won. I mean, I had 1,001 by hours, you know, and all of a sudden I get to the finish line and Mickey Thompson is there. I thought, no way, I've been ahead all these, you know, all the way to La Paz, you
Wow.
know. And he accidentally came down on the highway and didn't know where he was. So he took the last, you know, 80 miles on the highway, you know. So when I got there, he was already there, and I thought, they said, well, you going to protest? I said, nah. Mickey and I go back a long ways, and you know, I mean, we all have. He wasn't cheating; that was an accident, you know. But if he'd been cheating, maybe I'd have, you know, maybe said something. But you know, back in the day before all
Yeah.
the GPSs and trackers and stuff, you know, you just kind of found the best and fastest way, and it was, you know, as long as you get caught, it was kind of legal, you know. But yeah, it's you know, the GPS stuff. It's, you know, it's changed a lot. Our way of racing and stuff, you know. Before pre-earning was like back in the McMillan days, you know, and Corky and Mark and Scott and stuff. It's got kind of whoever did their homework and did the pre-earning, those are the guys who do best. You know, now it's whoever can read the GPS for the best and has the best co-driver might go the fastest and get there to the finish line first, you know.
Yeah, I've always said, you know, lately watching the co-driver really seems to be the you know, the guy that doesn't get a lot of credit, but he is the guy. Does a lot. Does your son Mark did kind of help you a little bit co-driving?
Not a whole lot. He's just kind of getting new. All my kids have been into racing, you know, from the get-go. As soon as they're old enough to race, you know, 18, 19, 20 years old, and I've had them in different race vehicles. Mark is probably the best of the 3 or 4 that have come along in the racing. He's got some talent behind him. We and with me, I mean, my co-drivers, I want them to be mummies. I don't want them to talk. I don't want them to say left, right, nothing, because they don't know the course as well as I do. You know, and once in a while, maybe in the dust, the GPS, hey, which way is it? We're lost in the dust or something. Or at nighttime, sometime, you know, you might not know the new course that Roger seems to find, you know. But I mean, I am the GPS pretty much. I've been doing it for so many years and know the race course so well. So consequently, I want my mummy to just kind of fold his arms and do nothing, because if he moves or says something, then it distracts me from what I'm doing, you know. But yeah, the co-driver in most instances, I mean, with all the GPS, we're building a vehicle right now for a guy named Alex from Canada, and he wants 3 GPSs in his truck. Wow. And he says, well, how many do you run? I says, I run one only for the speedometer. That's the only reason I have it for, is to know how fast I'm going and how fast I'm going on the highway, and that's it. I never look at GPS. I don't want to know about GPS, and I don't need it, you know. But that's the new era is the GPS and the trackers, you know.
Yeah, because, you know, like you talking, the old days was like the Wild West. You know, you kind of, hey, here it is, start, there it is at the other end. Find the best, fastest, quickest way to get there.
Yeah, there used to be a lot of open running. They would say, okay, you get to Tres Postals or Saldana now, and say, okay, there's 3 or 4, and they might be 20, 30, 40, 50 miles apart, but it's whoever can get to the Cuauhtémoc first, fastest, go for it. It's open running. They even that used to have a lot of open running, so we'd go do your homework and find the fastest, smoothest, and the quickest way from point A to point B. And it was legal back in the day. There's a lot of, you know, every other race would have it. Okay, this is open running. Just get to the point, you know.
Yeah, well, you know, I spent some time with Jerry Herbst, and it's kind of neat. He talks about the old days, and, you know, him and Mark Collins and running some of the races back then, and he laughs about joking with his sons that, hey, I didn't have a helicopter, you know, like you guys got helicopters. Your dad following you around, you know. But so that's a lot of history, you know, Perry. That really breaks it down. I mean, so in that time span, I think I was talking to Mark about how many championships. You got to have a bunch, you know.
Yeah, we run, and like I say, I did a lot of races in Mexico, but like 3 years, almost 4 years. Well, some were 4 years, but I won like 3 championships in 1 year, which is really tough to do, you know. And I was, and a lot of these races were 24-hour drive away from my house in San Diego. Wow. But we raced down in Mazatlan, Tepic, and Hermosillo, and Culiacan and stuff, Cabo San Lucas and Juarez and stuff. And there, each one of those, there was 6 races a year there. And you're familiar with the code races,
the code
in
races,
Mexicali,
record
and,
and all
the
that.
record in Ensenada. I won all 3 championships like 4 years in a row of those, and I still ran all the score races also, you know. So.
Now, did you do that in Class 1? I know you started racing in Class 5.
Yeah, mostly Class 7 that I did that in.
Really?
Mostly Class 7. I had a real good truck, and it's weird. I mean, I would run 25 races a year, and I would actually win like 20 out of the 25, you know.
Wow.
And I just had a truck that really couldn't be beat. And it's kind of a cheater truck. It was one of the first pioneers to have the 4.5 NASCAR motor. So everybody else was running 150, 200 horses, and I'm running 400 or 500. So it wasn't fair, you know. But it was legal, so it was. But it wasn't fair, you know. And we raced this weekend in Jacome, and there was one vehicle there with the big motor in it, you know, and all the rest of it just had whatever, run what you brung, pretty much, you know. And we can run with him. He was just way too fast. He had the motor, and he had a good truck. But on top of that, good driver, a lot of suspension, but more than he had a big motor, you know. So that compensates for all your errors as far as the driver or your suspension or something. You can make up time on the fast stuff.
A lot of things change. I know back you were talking about when your truck was a little farther ahead with the NASCAR motors and stuff, you know. I know I saw Jimmy Jeffries a few weeks ago, and he has one of those old 7 trucks with a NASCAR, pretty neat truck, you know.
Yeah.
But what about, so you did the truck, the 7 truck for a while. I'm impressed with the 5 truck, the 5 car you race. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, we've done real well in that car. It belongs to Amigo Tech, Kevin Carr, and they're nice enough to invite me on board. And since I've been on board with and they have 3 race cars. They have a Class 12, Class 10, and the Class 5. And the Class 5 has just been done real well. It's just the survival of the fittest, and you get to the finish line, and whoa, where's everybody else type of deal, you know. It's been a real good car. Mark's been part of the scene now for a couple of years and done real well. He's kind of got his feet wet in that Class 5 car pretty much, and he came into one place and said, "Dang, Dad, I love this car." It's forgiving. It's really good little car to get started in, you know. But I raced Class 1 probably about 15 years. I went in Class 8 for probably 8, 9, 10 years. Then went to 7. I've been racing Amigo Techs now for the last 4 or 5 years.
You know, I know now the 10 car. I mean, because the 10 class, with all the years of your racing, seems to be where it's at. I mean, the old days with the motors, you could spend 30, 40,000 a year just keeping up the motor.
Oh yeah.
Now you can buy 4 or 5 of them things, you know.
Yeah, the new motors, the Ecotech motors that they're running now, I mean, really, you can't do anything to them. You can go buy it at the from the junkyard pretty much and race it, you know. And it's a lot of fun, you know, because it's really cool about it. You know, you might have a bunch of trophy trucks, but you can go so fast. It depends a lot on the driver. Depends on you know whatever. But you get in a class like Class 12, Class 10, where they're all pretty much the same, and if you come out ahead, then it's kind of been you, not the vehicle you're driving to some extent, you know. It's like we had a shootout at the Class 11s here, about 2 years ago, and Roger Norman was there, and a whole bunch of guys. There's Roger Norman and Chad and Larry Ragland and Bill Dossala.
Yeah, I heard about it. Big race with you guys.
Yeah, there's like 31 cars, and I kicked all their butts.
That's what I heard. You guys,
kind of cool, you know. But in fact, somebody put it on the internet, says, "Yes, this probably make a good, you know, TT driver for backup for anybody or something like that." I've rubbed the wrong shoulder with the wrong people, you know, all these years. It was back in the day. I mean, I raced with Malcolm Smith. We shared a couple of races together, and I learned a lot from that guy. He's a really good driver, you know. But, incredible driver. But so there's a lot. And I wish I kind of pursued that avenue and raced more here in the U.S. Maybe I'd be in a trophy truck right now. You know, I'm trying to get Mark's feet wet and get it into some, you know, a big motor vehicle of some sort, Class 1 or Class 8 or Class or trophy truck, you know. But
let's talk a little bit about Mark. Mark, how old are you, Mark?
I'm 20.
So kind of, he's in the business with you. You know, we'll
Right.
talk about the business real quick too. You know, you doing the fiberglass and making body parts and all kinds of stuff for race vehicles. Pretty cool.
Yeah. You know,
And
Mark's a couple of years now. He's been helping us. We have another great, you know, part of my business is Michael Meadows. He kind of is running the show pretty much. You know, the last 2 or 3 years when Mark's getting in there and picking up the pace. You know, but yeah, it's been real good in the past. You know, it's been kind of slow lately with the economy as is. You know, but we're hanging in there. We're moving along.
Now, Mark, you kind of picked it right up, or did you do motorcycles or anything like that at first?
Not really. I rode motorcycles for fun, never got into racing. Biggest thing I started out with was just a go-kart, the Del Mar Fair, and just pre-running my dad, going out and testing and whatnot. And then when I was 15, had my first race. It was actually one of the FUD races, the New Year's race, and won race class 7. We broke, but we were out there the next year in that truck, all of code, and just did our thing, you know, and then kind of took a break for a while, and then started with Amigo Tech. They asked me to drive at the 1,000 2 years ago. We got in, and we were way behind. Ended up doing really well in the car, and gave it back to my dad. I think we're in 3rd place, and ended up winning the championship for that year. And then the next year, they asked me to drive the 250. This is in 2013. We ended up winning the 250. I came back for the 500. Got second at the 500, and then the 1,000. We all teamed up and ended up driving. I was supposed to ended up driving like 300 miles, but we had to end up having an incident on the highway, and I only drove 150 miles, but we won that race as well. I ended up winning the championship again. It's like 6 years in a row now for the Class 5. So
Great stats, Perry. You know, you and your family. So getting him right on board. I mean, that's great. 20 years old and already got a couple championships under his belt. So
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
Being part of the business, and I think that's a great part, having your son involved in the business and the racing. And do you like it in Mexico better, like your dad, kind of?
I do. I love Mexico. I love all the races down there. I'd rather race in Mexico any day of the week than up here in the States. I mean, just the people down there, the atmosphere, and everything about it, you know. And it's good racing. Like this last weekend, I've probably never had to drive so hard in my life in our Class 7.
Wow.
We just drove the wheels off it and doing everything we can to be up front, and we gave it our best, and ended up pulling off a second the first heat, and we didn't finish the second heat with some problems we had, but brought home with 3rd place for the weekend. And like I said, code's not the biggest, but there's some of the best 7 guys down there, and it was a tough race, and it was fun. So.
And we were racing our pre-runner. It's a sport track with 4 seats in it, you know.
Yeah.
So he's in there with all his buddies, you know, both races, you know. And that's a lot of extra weight, you know.
Yeah.
4 people in there, and there's a couple thousand pounds of extra weight back there, you know, the big 4-door stuff. But it's a lot of fun.
All right. How do we get a hold of you, business-wise? We're going to throw that out, you know, for you.
McNeil Racing, Inc. or Perry's Fab and Fiber. Perry's Fab and Fiber is kind of the wayside where we hit McNeil Racing a little bit harder than Perry's Fab and Fiber before.
All right. Well, we want to thank you and your son for coming on, man. We learned a lot about you, a lot of history right here. So thank you very much.
Thank
Perry
you.
McNeil,
Thank you,
son
George.
Mark,
Thank you.
joining us right here on Dirt Live. Everybody out there gets a chance to showcase a little bit about what you do, Perry. Keep up
Thank
the
you
good
very
work.
much.
And
Appreciate
Mark,
it.
Thank you.
we're going to go to commercial. Be right back on Dirt Live. Test. Hey, welcome back to Dirt Live. Well, hope you enjoyed the show tonight. We were out of time, as usual. We had a great show. We had some great guests tonight. And, you know, if you're interested in becoming a part of Dirt Live, get a hold of us. You can get a hold of me at george@dirtlive.com and send me an email. Let me know, hey, maybe you'd like to be on the show, showcase some products. Maybe you guys have some new products in the off-road industry, or you have some great ideas for us right here on Dirt Live, because without the great fans that we have like you out there, we can't make this show move on and move on. So we want to thank everybody, the fans, the sponsors, and everything. Also, don't forget to get signed up for the Imperial Valley race, the Rigid Industries race coming up in September. And hope everyone out there is enjoying their vacation. We've had a great couple vacations here. Next week, we got a great show coming to you. It's going to be the progression of SCORE. It's going to start out with 2013, right after Roger Norman bought SCORE International. It's going to kind of showcase the history on how things started back in January of 2013, where Roger started with SCORE. We had HDRA last year. We ran the World Championship for both series. And we're going to start with the first race, the South Point 250, back in January 2013. We're going to go all the way for 2 weeks, and we're going to go all the way up to right now and even talk about the race coming up at the Baja 1000, where we're going to do the qualifying at the SEMA show. So we want to showcase a couple of years of SCORE and show you where it's gone and what it's done. And I think we're going to have 2 great shows coming up next week and the following week after that. So once again, I want to thank everybody, the sponsors, the fans. Hey, thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys next week. Adios, amigos and amigas.
Dirt Live is brought to you in part by Wide Open Excursions. It's your turn to drive. Dirt Live, promoting racers one interview at a time.